Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So in the last episode, I talked about the knowledge article, right? How to configure it, and I demonstrated a little bit on the knowledge article. So today, what I'm going to do, I will talk about the record types. Why it's important, based on a business scenario, right? And look at the categories as well. Okay. So the first thing first, right? Somebody asked me, right, how do you get this stuff here onto on the right hand side? Because when they try to do that, they couldn't see it. So that's pretty simple. So what do you have to do? So you go to the edit page, and so you can drag and drop the excuse me the stuff here and to the knowledge stuff here on the right hand side. So that will uh, pretty much take care of the options for you guys. So you see, so you just drag and drop here. And so you can customize your look and feel by going to the edit page. That's right? It's pretty simple. And there are a couple of options I would love to mention, which is, I believe it's pretty important. Excuse me. So if you look at this knowledge article, right? So let's look at the knowledge article. Sorry. So so if I look at the knowledge article, um, let me go back to the normal service. Um, all right, so what I'll do, I will go to sales. That's fine. Um, all right, and what I'll do, I'll go to. I don't like the console look, to be honest. I hate it. It's just not very. I don't know. Agents find it very comfortable, but I don't find it very comfortable. So, all right, okay. So, I have three knowledge article here, right? Pretty simple. And you can see the validation status, right? You have work in progress, validated. So the validated and the work in progress is like, say for instance, if you are a consultant, right, and you decide to write a knowledge article, say about how to install the solar panel. So what do you normally do? You normally mark the status as work in progress, and then your boss or probably senior consultant probably review your knowledge article and say, "Hey, it's sweet." So they change the status to the validated, right? So that's the. So let me show you. If you go here, and if you go to edit as a draft, all right. So so you have some out of box options here, right? That being said, you can even add your own pick list option. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So this is the where you normally set your validation status, but you can change it if you like. And then we have something called categories. So if you expand here, if you just edit here, say I wanted to assign a category. So for instance, I have say I mark this. I have this something called priority. I say I wanted to mark this as a high priority. For some reason I can't do that, but all right, just because it's only got one, so that's fine. All right, so I marked this as a category here. So why do we need a category, right? So you categorize a knowledge article based on the category. So it's like categorizing something, right? So that's why we have the concept of categories. I'll show you how to set this up as well in a second. Okay, now so this thing, right? As I mentioned, the first thing first, we have a validation status, which you can change it. That's great, but you can also add your own pick list. Okay, it's pretty simple. Go to the scarecrow icon. Now you must be wondering, why do I need it, right? Because based on a business requirement, you might have, say for instance, you have three options. Let me show you first how to go there and change it. Then we talk about the business case, right? So go to the service setup, right? Just by going to the gecko icon, and just look for knowledge, and you got something called validation statuses, right? So go here, And you can add your new, but right now we got three in place: not validated, validated, work in progress, or you might have a business requirement where you might want to send it to uh, a consultant. Let's say, for instance, you are a junior consultant, right? So you wanted to send it to uh, a consultant just to have a glance at it. So you wanted to mark the status as temporarily validated, right? Before the senior consultant validates it. So, depending upon your company business requirement, you can come up with the different pick lists. So, it's just an area of an opportunity where, as a business, if you see a need to do so, you can do so. But I'm not saying you should do it, but there's an opportunity there, right? So the data categories, right? So what do you do? The data categories, as I mentioned. So you can go to the data category setup. So just look for data, right? Just data category setup. So go here. Um, and so I got three here. So I'll try to do something. Say let's say what categories we put in. Um, well, say process, right? Whatever, right? Just give it a simple name. So I'll do save. Okay. Now you might see, hey, what's going on? I wanted to add a category. So what happens is, right? So you can only have three active categories. Unfortunately, that's the way Salesforce designed this. So if you wanted to make this one as an active, so you have to take it off. You have to remove uh, one from active categories and push this up, right? So the way to push this up, so there's this active status, you can do that. And if you wanted to say, for instance, I have this priority, right? And I have this priority and I got something called high. And say, for instance, I wanted to remove this one because it looks like a duplicate. Okay, so I removed, right? Now I can push this up. Okay, so I can do that. Excuse me. Right, so it pushed up, which is fantastic. Now processed. So if you wanted to, oh, so if you wanted to add the subcategories, right, you go to here and you go to actions, and you can say add child category process. Yes. Um, all right, whatever you can add. You can add yes, right? You can add yes categories. You can add no, right? And you can add that. Fantastic, right? You can save it. So that's like you categorizing in an article, right? Whichever the way you wanted to. Okay, that's fantastic. Let's go back to the knowledge based, and I'll just show you one very cool option, which you will really love it. Go to knowledge settings, right? And go to edit. um, so you see this one. So what happens, right? So as you can see, I got subjects here, right, which is fantastic. So what that will do, right? If you have a knowledge, say knowledge article based, say installing solar panel, right? And if you create a case with the subject called installing solar panel, so once you create a case, on the right hand side, as I will show you in a second, it will automatically show you that category, right? So it's driven by your subject. Or if you wanted to drive it based on more other fields, so for instance, your case origin, say phone. So if you have a knowledge article, something to do with the phone, it will display that as well as an it will give you like a suggestion to look at it, because the whole point of the knowledge article is to help your customer agent, service agent, uh, perform the task in an efficient way and help the customer uh, in a short span of time, right? So that's one option. So I'll show you what I meant by that. Let's go to the case, and before I'll show you the record type, right, which anyway is more important. Okay, so I will say, how do I reset? Okay, let's go here. All right, so what I'll do, um, say you look at this one, right? So look at this case. How do I reset my password? Okay. So I don't have any knowledge article which talks about the reset password. Uh, so let's say, let's create a case. Yeah. Excuse me. So contact status, yeah, whatever, new. Subject, nothing, right? It's just a stupid dummy case, but okay, case origin. All right, just put whatever. Um, See, I got no suggestion here, right? There's no knowledge article here because there is no knowledge article which got to do with nothing, right? So what I'll do, so I will go to the case and I will edit this case and just change it to solar panel, and let's look at it now. You see, install solar panel. So you got that, an article selection option, or a suggestion, I would say, in place where you can go through it to see if that article is really relevant to the customer query. So that's why this knowledge is very powerful, and it's really a game changer in a customer service space. Okay, so let's look at the record type. I have two record types, and record type is very handy. So let's go to edit object. So we got a case object, and for the case, and we got a knowledge object for the knowledge base, right? So pretty simple. So you look for the knowledge, and we got a knowledge object, custom object. Now I have two record types in place. One is for a fact, one is for procedure, and I have a field which is controlled by record types, right? So I'm not going to get detail into what record types are. So it's, so for instance, if you wanted to have an article or a knowledge article, uh, which is more like a question and answer kind of type, right? So then you have a fact one, and then if you wanted to have a uh, knowledge-based article which talks about the instruction set, right? How to install a solar panel, and go here, click this, click that, connect this wire, drill here, drill there, right? Just an example, right? So if you wanted to have an article which explains you in detail the step-by-step process, then you will need a separate record type to cater for that. That's why I got two record types here. One is for FAQ, which is more like a question and answer, pretty simple, right? And then a procedure, right? How to do kind of stuff. Okay, so and then based on that, I have a page layout. So this is a pretty basic admin stuff, but I just wanted to give you an idea what I meant by that, right? So let me show you. I have, this is the one for author and reader, and so uh, so let's create one knowledge base knowledge article. And so if I do new, you see I got two record types, right? So if I do FAQ, you can see that it is different. Like it's like a question and answer. The layout is a bit different. All right, so this one, right? You must be wondering what the heck this is one. If you want this article to be visible to customer, you tick this. If you want this article to be visible to partner, you tick this. If you want, this is like a public domain where your customer or partner not necessarily have to log in, so they can still view it without logging in. So that's this option is about, right? So I can cancel it. And let's say if we wanted to create an article, how to do, right? Like list of instructions. So you can go to new, and you can go to procedure, right? And you can go to next. And you see the procedure, audience, purpose, warnings, steps, right? It's pretty handy. The same options applies here. Well, is it for a customer? Is it for a partner, or do you really have to log in, right? If you're a partner or a customer, so it's pretty interesting and exciting stuff, in my opinion. I believe the Service Cloud is an amazing technology, invented by Salesforce, because if you're running a call center, right, for instance, which is pretty common, contact center um, model. Service Cloud, if you're using Salesforce, Service Cloud is an amazing option for you guys, right? But that then again, you have to analyze your business requirement. But from an overall perspective, right, Service Cloud plays a very important role. You know, as you can see, the advantage of using it, right, and knowledge article plays a very important role. Yeah, that's pretty much I wanted to cover in this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a good evening. Adios.